Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kim, naturopathic doctor in Sherwood Park and Calgary. I wanted to talk a little bit about food sensitivity testing today. With all the different diets out there, from APE to FODMAP to paleo to keto, there's just so many, and it can get really confusing trying to know what to eat or what to follow. So many people ask me about food sensitivity testing, so I wanted to cover how and when you would use it. A food sensitivity is different than a food allergy. A food allergy is a very immediate response. There are different tests for food allergies, but we're not going to talk about those. Food sensitivities are not true allergies, so they can be challenging to identify because they don't have those immediate symptoms, and they can change quite a bit based on how much stress you're facing, how well your body's detoxing, how much inflammation you have, or how healthy your gut is. So firstly, something I always tell my patients is that the underlying problem is not the food. Healthy whole food is not the enemy. And feeling paranoid about every single piece of food that goes into your mouth is just not a fun way to live. So my goal when working with you is to get at the root cause and help you develop a healthy relationship with food again. So why would I use food sensitivity testing, you might wonder? Because it can actually get you on the fast track to feeling better. It will allow us to target the foods that are contributing to that chronic immune system activation that's going on, while we also work on the deeper aspects. It's also a great way to determine an individualized nutrition plan as opposed to trying to follow something that is targeted for a specific condition or a specific purpose. This test, after doing the testing, it's more tailored to you. Conditions that can quickly show improvement with symptoms are those struggling with digestive disorders like IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, IBD, which is inflammatory bowel disease, constipation, nausea, bloating, those that are having difficulty losing weight or struggling with other metabolic conditions like diabetes, those with autoimmune conditions, those with skin conditions like eczema or psoriasis, or those with unexplained fatigue, migraines, or just weird skin rashes. One of the most commonly used tests that I have actually used in the past is called an IgG food sensitivity test. This looks at your blood levels of IgG. IgG is a protein made by your white blood cells. This test is meant to identify food sensitivity reactions, but what I've learned since using it is that it is more likely to reveal repeated exposure to a food, meaning you will have high blood levels of IgG for foods that you eat often. That doesn't necessarily mean they are causing or contributing to any of the symptoms you're having. Another thing to note is that some studies have shown that IgG is actually high when there is a true allergy in an attempt to act as protection against the true allergy. So it's not correlated with a pathogenic response. Another test that I only actually recently learned about is hair food sensitivity testing. I don't use it and I haven't. And when I contacted a company for more info about it, they replied with, "Their results are subjective and based on level of customer satisfaction." So to me, that leaves a lot of room for interpretation, as there's not been any data gathered on this type of testing. The testing that I do prefer to use, and not because I have any affiliation with the company, is a cell-mediated blood test called the ALCAT. This test measures stimulation of several classes of white blood cells for food reactions. So it's different than the IgG test. And these sensitivities can be present from a variety of different pathways, and they can't always be identified by a single antibody like that IgG test. This test has demonstrated significant improvement in symptoms as a result of an individualized nutritional plan based on the results. So one recent study in particular looked at IBS, that irritable bowel syndrome, improvement on a FODMAP diet versus this individualized nutritional plan based on LCAT results, and the individualized plan had far better outcomes. So the other nice thing about this testing is that while you can do an elimination diet trial without the test, there are often foods that show up on this test that you would never even think to eliminate from your diet. So a typical elimination diet, in case you've never heard of doing this, involves removing the most common food allergens like gluten, dairy, corn, eggs, soy from your diet for a period of time, and then reintroducing those foods to see how you respond to them. Doing an elimination diet trial is very time consuming and can be quite cumbersome. And it is possible to go months without seeing much change or benefit on it too. So when you narrow down your cell-mediated reactions and follow a specific plan to only you, benefit can be noted in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. So I hope you now feel as though you have a bit better understanding of some of the different types of food sensitivity testing available and some of the different diet options and why you'd want to use them. So for more information on working with me, head over to my website, drkimnaturopath.ca. I'm always happy to chat and answer questions about your health.